So our next speaker will speak about privacy. It's Anthony Marcus, and it will explain you privacy pretty easy. Let's applaud him.
It's more like pretty easy privacy, but it's fine. So I am a council member of PEP Foundation, a non-commercial entity. First of all, who knows PEP here? Okay, not so many people, so that's the right talk because it's not very technical. If you want to have more technical information, we have a stand with Knut Thaler in the K building. I'm also not developing at the engine level or stuff like that, so don't come up with C questions and why this crashes and stuff like that at me. So first of all, yeah, that's PEP, pretty easy privacy with an emphasis on the E, because we have already good privacy, you know, but it's not really easy. At least it's our experience with doing crypto parties and stuff. So people in the end are not really able to use it, at least not regular users. First of all, what PEP is not. So PEP is not yet another crypto tool with a closed user base, like encrypted mail services which are around, or certain apps which have clear identifiers like phone numbers and stuff. So PEP doesn't impose you a certain identifier. You can freely choose depending on the communication channel you use. For email, of course, it's your email address that you usually can choose freely. So we are also not a platform provider, so we don't have any metadata. So it's just about tools on the end user devices. We are also not a crypto project. We are just using crypto already there. We are also not replacing the tools already there. We're just using them and making them easier to use. And we just start with email, but that's not the end. It's just the beginning. So. And then probably the positive list. What are we doing actually? First of all, we kind of abstract already existing crypto tools like GNU-PG, or for iOS, because of licensing, we have to use NetPGP because it's a little bit broken, or it was a little bit broken. We forked it and continued a little bit development on it. And for other for other crypto standards, of course, you will need other libraries, but yeah, they are already there. It's designed, as said, for starting with email, but then we will add more crypto standards later on. It's also built with the idea that you have a unified mailbox. The idea is that if you use Signal or WhatsApp or whatever, you usually have the user base you have there. But other users just have email addresses or use completely something different, like Threema or whatever. And the idea of PEP is to bring this all together in one place by supporting all the involved crypto standards. So you have one box with all your contacts, and the most secure way to communicate with them will be used by default. And this encryption stuff will be done automatically, so keys are generated automatically for every address you have. If you have several mail addresses, for each mail address, a key pair is created, and then you can just start to encrypt without that the user has to do anything. So it's zero touch and hassle-free, no dialogues, talking about revocation certificates, about private keys, stuff like that. So we also avoid these terms for the end user. But of course, if you're a power user, what most of you will be, you can also go into advanced settings and use the things already there. And if you already use OpenPGP, I don't have to tell you how to use it, so it's already fine. I can communicate already with you, but we also have to think about the normal people, which are really not able to use this kind of stuff. So why are we doing this? A little bit of motivation. I think we have a global problem, first of all. So there is the NSA surveillance complex. If you look at it globally, so we have really big issues. There is also China, Russia, whatever, doing mass surveillance. And if you are a little bit more narrow in your thinking, like the Swiss tend to be, we also have mass surveillance. This kind of things. Here is Onyx mass surveillance interception system for satellite-based communications. It was passed in Parliament as a multi-purpose building for 20 or 40 million francs. So without any legal basis, and afterwards they created the legal basis. So the Swiss are, Switzerland is a nice democracy, but there are also strange things going on. By the way, they started to build this after Echelon was revealed. So yeah, interesting approach. So instead of stopping this kind of stuff, they just said, oh, let's build our own stuff. Yeah. If you look at an email context, let's say, you have your original NSA slides leaked by Edward Snowden showing how mass surveillance on, let's say, a linguistic basis is done. So if you are, ACV's advanced conventional weapons or VMD's weapons of mass destruction, GovTorx, that's a tag for government organizations. So you can search in emails with topics. There are lots of methods of text mining, machine learning to do that kind of stuff. And we should just encrypt everything so this stuff cannot be done anymore. Also, if you look at a little bit more general, so for written digital communications, what we are doing, PEP is about encrypting text, not voice yet. So if you look at it in this more general sense, yeah, you see that they just scan everything like HTTP requests, calendar bodies, archives, document bodies, chat bodies, email bodies. So this stuff, we just have to encrypt everything. So this stops. How does PEP, I said we started with email, so how does we differ from OpenPGP? Because there is already OpenPGP implementations around, RFC 4880. So PEP doesn't use key servers by default because a social graph is disclosed either by queries or if you sign around and upload your public key signed, everyone can see with whom you communicate. Of course, you can do key signing parties and try to dissipate a little bit stuff, but still it's a little bit of a problem. Also, you have a key re-encryption problem, a problem, by the way, which all these platform-centric solutions have, like WhatsApp. So you don't really know with whom you're communicating as long as you didn't check the identity with fingerprints or whatever. The sender's public key is attached by default to any email. You can also switch this off in certain contexts or in companies or organizations if it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, for regular users, it's like this. The subject field gets put into the body and then mapped by the mail user agent into the real body. So graphically, it looks like the real subject, but it's in the body, in fact. Instead of fingerprints, we use trust words. These are just mappings to natural language words like English, German, whatever. And this we do because we don't believe that people are able to compare hex fingerprints very efficiently. Especially if you take into consideration that you can do that, you should do that via a side channel like phone or something. So we just use here trust words. I think they are from LibreOffice with swear words removed by native language speakers. PEP is also a rating system, so we rate how secure communication is on a user basis or on a message level basis. And this is shown with traffic light semantics, that means with colors. I will show an example afterwards. So for example, S-MIME with commercial CAs we consider as not secure. So we won't show that encrypted. Plain text message, of course, also not secure. What PGP would say is secure. And other standards, of course, too. So here is an Outlook example. That's PEP for Outlook. The source code exists. So you can also compile it yourself and check if you want. There are also other projects for iOS, for Android, for Enigmail. So if you write your first email, usually you don't have the public key of the contact. So down here it's shown unsecure. Then you just write your plain text message. Your public key is attached, and when you receive an answer from your body, then probably you can import also his public key. And as of then, the communication is shown secure. But then, of course, you still have to mitigate for the man-in-the-middle tag. For that, you can do this trust words comparison. There you see, you can just call him and ask if the same trust words are shown on both devices. For that to work with common trust words, of course you need to put the fingerprints together and map them to words. Afterwards I can bring details at the stand, for example, because I think time is running away. When you did that, so when your contact was verified, it's shown secure and trusted, so you can be quite sure there is no man-in-the-middle attack possible anymore. If something happens, if someone is tampering around with your communication channel, then it will turn red, and then it's written under attack. So you can still communicate. That's the most important thing in PEP. People are never stopped from communicating, but you at least should know that something is possibly wrong. So what is coming next? We are working on fixing key-sync. Key-sync is a protocol to transfer private key material through your different devices, where the common identifier is, for example, your email address. For that to be secure, you need, of course, or trusted at least, trusted and secure, sorry, you need to make your channel green. So you need to check, again, your trust words on both of your devices. And then you need to agree on a key to use for the future. So that's a cloudless, platform-independent key synchronization protocol. We will also add more transports here with other crypto, and GNU-net will also be added in 2.0. GNU-net is completely radical. They want to just replace the whole internet stack. It's an official GNU project. Synchronization of fourth data can be done, like calendar and contact data. And we, of course, we are community focused here. We want also to make this an internet standard, so we are drafting internet drafts for IETF. Politically, we also want to fight mass surveillance. So we are really political. So we are not just doing techniques here. For some notes on the foundation, which I'm representing here. The foundation is Swiss-based, tax-free, non-commercial, and controlled by radicals in the area of digital rights. So there's no compromise in here. So you have to replace us if you want to change what we're doing here. The foundation holds ownership on the core technology, on the GNU GPL v3, and also on the trademarks. This is to make sure that people don't release software called Pretty Easy Privacy, which is backdoored. Also, to avoid backdoors, we require everyone who calls their stuff PEP, Pretty Easy Privacy, to run a code audit, but we don't force them to open the source code. So it's just someone has to independently look if there are no backdoors. I mean, WhatsApp, for example, it's not so clear what this tool is doing in the end. And we also do political work. We supported referendums in Switzerland against mass surveillance. We failed a little bit around, but we will continue on other ways there. We also collaborate with certain projects already, like Enigmail. So Enigmail PEP will come out, I think, Thunderbird 52. That's March, April this year, if we manage to do everything. We also collaborate with GNU-net and with ISOC Switzerland. That's probably interesting for internet standards. And we are open for more collaboration. So it's not about competition, it's about collaboration here. I think that's all, and we don't have time anymore, probably. But you can come to the stand otherwise. Or do we have time? I mean, well, okay, too late.
They send HTML mail with PEP.
Yes. He asked for HTML mails with PEP. What is done in PEP is in the engine, there is something which converts the HTML to text, and then you have a text file in the attachment, and the HTML file, and the subject line which we encrypt is in the text, so we can map it back again. Enigmail had issues with that kind of stuff, where I was involved in these discussions there, so it actually works. But of course, there will always be some bugs and some UIs and stuff, but we will fix all of this.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome.